Okay, I've got a field and brush mower, uh, Pro XL30 here. It's got the mower attachment on right now, but it's really a brush hog. But I also use it as a lawn mower. That's a separate attachment you can buy that's up front, so don't let that throw you off. That can be taken off, and the regular deck goes on. And it's been working okay lately, but as I was using it, all of a sudden the shifter lost tension in one direction. One of the two shifting cables just busted right off, and you can see here that it's just kind of frayed right off, and the cable came off. And so what we're going to do is remove these nuts here and take this cable off, and then we'll follow it down to here, and it goes into here where we will remove it from there also, where it's connected to the transmission. So I looked online, and apparently there's not any video about how to replace the shifter cables, so I thought I would go ahead and make one myself. And there's, by the way, there's two shifter cables, and as you can see here, one, if you look underneath the thing here, you can see that one of the shifter cables attaches right, I don't know if you can see very well, but right there on that side of the thing, and then one shifter cable attaches on this side. So there's, and then when you move the shifter, it moves each of the cables up and down. Only one of the two is busted, so I'm just going to replace one of the two, but the other one is exactly the same and could be fixed the same way. And I ordered some cables from DR Mower, and you can see right here the part number. This model, by the way, is a let's see here if we can look at the model number here. It's an AT450308EN on the side of the mower, and so I ordered the cables accordingly, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, so I got two 13mm wrenches here, and I'm going to loosen the nut to be able to get this off. That will come right out. So that's the first thing. And then down here on the bottom, we're going to have to get that out of there. So looking at the way the new cable looks, see how it works, I see that there's a little, I don't know if you can see that good, but there's a little plastic snapping thing that holds that in place, and then it holds into the transmission with a little hook, so that I could get access to that bottom panel down here where the cable goes through. And I'm just going to take these bolts off that hold it, and and in case you're wondering about the size of these bolts, they are 9/16 of an inch. Alright, and this little panel now is loose, kind of, and I should be able to stick my finger inside and kind of work those little plastic pieces, maybe with a pliers. I got a pliers here, and they should come right off. side here. I can't really see what I'm doing, but if I squeeze that, it should be able to pop right out. Yep, it popped right out. And then it's attached to the transmission just by a hook on the inside here. I'm just going to unhook it, and just so you can see a little better here what I'm doing. There's a little hook here where this hooks into the transmission, and I'm going to just take that hook out. It'll come out. There it goes. So there's a little hook that was hooked into this part of the transmission right here. And then we'll do the next step. And so now we've got this whole cable detached from the transmission, and it's time to start putting our new cable on. Alright. So I got my brand new cable in the bag. It's part number 351311 from DR or Generac. And there's two ends to this cable. One has the nuts on it, and one has the little plastic insert. I'm going to start with the one with the little plastic insert that I just detached. I'm going to insert it into the thing until it snaps in, and then I'm going to get the little hook here into the transmission just like it was on the other one, which is a little tight, but without damaging anything here. I just got to insert that hook into the little hole in the shifter on the transmission itself. We'll be all set. But unfortunately, it's not really long enough to easily get in there. So it's going to take a little bit of messing around here to get it at the right twisted angle to get in. If I detached all these cables, it would probably be easier, but of course then that's just more trouble to get back on. At some point you gotta put the last one. There it is. I finally got it into the hook, and now I'm going to put this whole assembly back on. I've got the bottom part of the cable hooked up, and we'll zip those back in. All these bolts started. I'll plug my air compressor back in. I just got a very tiny air compressor, so it keeps turning on. we got that on. And now we're going to go up to the upper part here and hook this top part into the top part of the cable. And in order to get an idea of how it was set up before, I'm just going to get the old cable, and I'm going to get these two nuts lined up so that they're the same height. And there's two nuts on this cable, one on the bottom and one on the top, and they kind of squeeze down on each other over the little holder here to hold them in place. So I'm going to take the top nut off so I can get it in, and the bottom nut I'm going to get to the same level as the bottom nut of the old cable. Not sure if that's required or not, but I figured it would be nice to have them be about the same because it was working pretty good before. So I'm just going to move that bottom nut down to the same level as the old one before it broke anyway. I don't think it matters though. Alright, and then I'm going to put this into the little holder here, and then I'll tighten down the top nut, which is my hand for now. Get started. I'm just tightening the top nut down. Get that nice and tight. And I'll get my two 13mm wrenches here, tighten that up. Just hand wrenches. Use one to hold it and one to tighten it. Until it's pinched pretty tight so that it won't come undone. Almost there. Okay. So that's tightened down. And now the last step is that if you look really close here, you can see that this top part of the cable here has a little hook on it too, and it needs to hook into this this little hole here. So I'm just going to insert it into the little hole, and I think in order to do that I'm going to have to pull the thing back a little bit, pull the lever on top back a little bit to get it down, and then I should be able to get this into the hole. So let's see if we can do that. I'm going to pull the lever back a little more, and then try and get this into the hole, and it's tight, which I guess it probably should be. So I get a pair of pliers here, see if we can get it in there. There we go. Just have to turn it upside down and it went in. And then I guess if we can turn it over without losing the hole, that would be really nice. So it's part way in there. It's going to be turned all the way around, and hopefully it'll stay in there. There it goes. It's all in there real nice now. You can see that. And now you can see that as I shift the shifter here, one cable pulls up and the other one pushes down, and that's the way it's supposed to work. And so now I might just have to go through and adjust the length of these shifters after I try out driving it a little bit and see if it shifts into the gears correctly, and if not, I may have to move this up or down slightly. But that's basically it for replacing a cable on this DR field and brush mower from it's a Pro XL30 from was purchased in 2018. And oh, and I'll let you know too that it's on its second engine here, so that engine is actually a brand new engine from only about less than a year ago, which you can order those from the company for about $1,000 and install it. It's not that hard. But the old engine just completely shattered inside one day, so I think just too many impacts, and that was the end of it. But it's been a good mower in spite of that, although I do wish they'd make the engines more durable. The engines are all aluminum, and so kind of not the most durable engines. And I'll also mention that I currently have on there a belt which is 1 inch bigger than what they recommend, and there's some videos out there about switching it out for a little bigger belt, and I found that to be helpful, and it doesn't drive on its own. The reason that you need a bigger belt, this is the dry belt, not the belt for the mower deck, but the dry belt needs to be a little bigger than the one they recommend, because otherwise the mower will just start driving on you on its own, which can be kind of dangerous. So, and I've really found that the key to making that drive belt work is to adjust the lever that's attached to your traction drive here. If you adjust that lever with this thing right here, you want to make sure that you see how there's these wide gaps here. So when you rotate this thing back and forth, this will get shorter or longer, and you want to adjust this to a fairly long position so that there's these big gaps here, and that will allow the bigger belt, the belt that's 1 inch bigger than what you're supposed to have, which I believe, so the one you're supposed to have is a let me see here, AK32. The one I've got on there I think is an AK33, which is 1 inch bigger. And anyway, if you leave this little adjuster so that it's close together, and you have the big belt on there, the big belt will just keep falling off from the drive shaft. So in order to keep it from falling off, you have to adjust this outward so that this is at almost its longest length, and that will keep the bigger belt tight enough that it won't fall off, but loose enough that it won't just, the tractor won't, or the machine won't just start driving off on you when you're not trying to drive it. So that's just another little tip that I've kind of learned from experimentation. So anyway, best of luck with changing your cable shifter. Alright, so I just took it outside on the driveway here, and what I found, I just tested it, but I'm just going to show you real fast, is that because I matched up that the height of that nut exactly when I did it, there was no adjustments needed. Everything worked perfectly, and in fact it worked better than it did with the old shifter, because before I wasn't able to get into all the gears easily, but now it snaps nicely into each gear. So it probably was just that the cable was a bit stretched before and I didn't know it, and that's what was causing the problem with the shifting. So I'll just show you real fast, and that'll be it.